Hello everyone. This will be our last lecture for refrigeration and air conditioning subject, and in this we will see what is what are different cooling load estimations and psychrometry analysis. Okay. So let's start. It's like if we talk about our air conditioning. So in air conditioning, we we control for simultaneously control. We simultaneously control four parameters. Okay, simultaneous control of first one is temperature, second velocity, third humidity, and fourth purity. Okay, so these four parameters are to be controlled in our air conditioning for so such that a person feels comfortable. Okay, hence now there is a term that is called our effective temperature. So let me mention here effective temperature. Effective temperature. Okay, now if I want to define what is effective temperature, so it is a temperature, it is a temperature of air at or saturated air at which a person or son or human being would feel some or sorry feel same level of comfort as in actual conditions, as in actual environment. Okay, like now this will include our both like all this temperature, velocity, humidity, and purity. Okay, so there are some so this is a effective temperature is our temperature at which every human being or person would feel same level of comfort that will they will feel in your actual environment. Okay, now there are certain factors which are continuously affecting our effective temperature. Okay, so let's see the factors factors affecting effective pressure. Factors affecting effective pressure. Okay, so like first factor if we talk about, so first factor is climate and seasonal difference. Seasonal difference. Okay, so if we say that people who are living in your colder climates will feel much comfortable at your low temperature. People living in colder environment or colder climate mate will feel more more comfortable at lower temperatures. At lower temperatures in comparison to in comparison to people living in people living in warmer region. Okay, so like if a person is living your let's say in your icy area, so he will feel comfortable at a lower temperature than compared to people person, let's say, who is living in your desert area. Okay, I think you can understand this mode. Okay, so if we talk about effective temperature, so T effective in summer, in summer. Okay, so T effective in summer is generally 21.6 degrees Celsius, and T effective in winter is lower than that of summer, that is 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, so first factor affecting your effective temperature. This is effective temperature. Effective temperature. Okay, and the second factor which is affecting it is age and gender. Age and gender. Okay, so if I talk about children and old people needs 2 to 3 degrees Celsius higher effective temperature. Effective temperature in comparison to that, in comparison to adults in similar cases. Okay, so it is similar to and children, old people, and also if we talk about women, and women are also, like women also need 2 to 3 degrees Celsius higher effective temperature in comparison to the adult male. Adult male. Okay, now if I talk about kind of activity, so third is kind of activity. Okay, so if we are talking about kind of activity, then the person, like which is involved in person involved in dancing, working in casting shop, let's say casting shops, need lower effective temperature, in comparison to the person who are in your rest conditions. Okay, rest condition. Okay, so a person involved in dancing, working in casting shop, or exercising are generally need lower effective temperature. Okay, next if I talk about fourth point, that is factor, that is density of occupants. Density of occupants. Okay, So if I talk about density of occupants, then the highly dense or highly densely sorry highly dense occupied areas need lower effective temperature, okay, in comparison to that of your less density occupant area. Okay, now now on this like considering these four factors, we will like draw a human comfort chart. Like not we actually X-ray had drawn a human comfort chart. So we will talk about human comfort chart, which is generally drawn by X-ray. Okay. So full form of this X-ray is American Society of Heating, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Engineers. Okay. Now if I talk about your human comfort chart, so they have drawn a, let me draw it here, a chart between your let me show it here, a chart between your wet bulb temperature and dry bulb temperature. Okay, and between like these temperatures they have like inscribed a certain region. So your effective temperature must lie in that region, so that it is the best comfortable for your either in summer or winter, whichever case you are studying. Okay, so according to them, if we talk about summer, so in case of summer, our like effective DVT is equal to 25 plus minus 1 degree Celsius. Relative humidity is phi is equal to 50 plus minus 5%, and air velocity is equal to 15 to 20 meter per minute. Okay, if we talk about in the winters, if we talk about, then DVT must be lower than that of in summer, which is 22 plus minus 1 degree Celsius. If we talk about phi, it should be around 50%, and if I talk about air velocity, then it should be 9 to 12 meter per minute. Okay, so this is our human comfort chart. This is chart between your DVT and WVT. Now in this case also, if your, let's say, if your relative density relative humidity is your less than 50%, then you will feel too dry. Okay, and if phi is greater than 50%, you will feel too sticky. Okay, so hence it is maintained between your 50, around 50%. Phi is maintained between around 50%. Okay, I hope you understood this point. Okay, now moving to the next topic, that is ventilation. So next topic is ventilation. Okay, so what is our ventilation? So like in case of air conditioning, we generally require some outside air. We admit some outside air into our system, into our building, to not affect our health and comfort mode. Okay, so this is called ventilation. So if we talk about ventilation, let's talk about ventilation air. If I talk about ventilation air, then it is amount of fresh air which is supplied to AC coil in order to maintain the purity of air. Okay, maintain the purity of air. Okay, now if I talk about your ICUs or operation theater, in this case we use 100% ventilation, 100% outside air or ventilated air. Okay, we use, like, we continuously reject our inside air to outside, and we receive air from outside into our system. Okay, now if I want to, like, show ventilated air in a cycle or something, so let me draw it here. So let's say this is our room, okay. Now the room is connected to our AC. So let's say here we have we have connected our AC unit. Okay, so this is our, let's say, AC coil at TS. Okay, at TS. Okay, now we have, so this is the AC coil. Okay, this is the temperature TS. Okay, now what else we have done, like in like here, so this room, the room exit air is being sent back to your AC along with some ventilated air. Okay, so this is our outside air. Okay, or we also call the ventilated air or fresh air. Okay, whatever you want to call. Okay, now this is our state 1. Okay, state 1, it enters the cooling coil, and then it exits at state 2, and then state 2 it enters our room, and then it state, let's say, I, and that is our inside air, or we call it inside air, or we call it recirculated air, or we also call it room air. Okay, now so this is our condition, how it is represented on in a cycle. Okay, now we can say that this room, like the room, the heat index inside a room is known as RSHF, that is room sensible heat factor. Okay, and in the AC coil we use term grand sensible heat factor. Okay, so if we consider the mixing at 4.1 of the inside and outside air, so we can draw it like this. So let's say this is our inside air, this is our outside air, and this is our air at state 1. So this is state 1, this is our inside air, this is our outside air. Okay, so this term is the mass of inside air is MAI, enthalpy is HI, temperature is Ti, and specific humidity is omega I. Okay, similarly MA node, H node, T node, omega node. Okay, and similarly here we can also write MA1, H1, T1, omega 1. Okay, now if I write the balance equation, energy balance equation, let's say mass balance equation. So I can say MAI plus MA node is equal to ma1. Okay, now if I want to like say add write energy balance equation, so I can write mai hi plus ma node h node is equal to ma1 h1. Okay, I hope you understand this point. Now from here I can write ma1 ti plus, so mai ti is equal to mn node t node is equal to ma1 t1. Okay, similarly we can also write in terms of like if I talk in terms of your mass of vapor, so mass of vapor at outside, that is ma node into omega naught plus mass of vapor inside mai into omega I is equal to total mass of vapor, that is ma1 into omega 1. So these four equations are used in case of your air conditioning. Okay, now if I like to like represent it on your psychrometric chart, so on psychrometric chart, let me draw a psychrometric chart here. So okay, so this is our dvt, and this is omega. Okay, now a process happens such that, let's say this is our outside air condition, okay, and this is our inside air condition. So like after mixing, our actual point will lie somewhere between your outside and inside. Let's say this is a point, so this will be point 1. So outside plus inside air will be mix at point 1. Okay, so at point 1, from point 1 it enters to our AC coil. Okay, and AC coil it reaches point 2. Let's say this is our point 2. Okay, so this factor is our grand sensible heating factor, okay. Now if I talk about your room sensible heat, so in room what happens from 2 to 1, 2 to I, sorry, 2 to I. So from this point 2 to point I, this is our 2 to I is our room sensible heat factor. Okay, now we can do something here. Let me do it first. Okay, so let's draw some lines here. So this is okay, sorry about that. Okay, so these are like temperatures. Let me write here. This is temperature T2, Ti inside the room, and T1, that is at the entry of your AC coil. T node is outside air condition. Okay, and so let's say that this point is something, this point, let's say it point 3. Okay, so this projection here, projection of okay, let me select some different color. So this projection, this line is projection of your room sensible heat factor on this line is called room sensible heat, and on this line is called room latent heat. Okay, so if I want to like study only this, so from here I can say, let's say something, mention also something else. So from here we can say that omega 2 is equal to omega 3, and this is omega I. Okay, and so if we see only these point, like you see if we study for, so let's say study for RSHF, because what we have to do here, we have to like see the condition inside our room, we have to maintain the condition inside our room. Okay, so our area of study is room. Our sample space is room. Okay, so here we have like we will talk about both points. So let's first talk about your room sensible heat. Okay, then after that we will talk, or we can parallelly talk about. Okay, so first we will talk about room sensible heat. Now after that we can talk about room latent heat. Okay, so if we talk about our room sensible heat, so we can write our room sensible heat is equal to H3 minus H2, and of course multiplied with m dot. Okay, m dot S3 minus H2. Okay, now if I like take like write H is equal to CPT, so if from here I can write m dot Cp of air. Okay, and delta T, change in temperature of your air. Okay, because you can say that Ti is equal to T3 from here. So here we can write like Ti minus T2 is equal to T3 minus T2. So in both way, this is our change in temperature. Now from here, what you can write, like for mass we can write mass density of air into volume of air. Okay, into Cp of air into delta T. What else we can do? Like we know that rho of air is our 1.2. Okay, if I talk about volume of air, so this will be our volume of our room. Okay, so there is a term cubic meter per minute. Okay, so this is our rate of change of air. Okay, so how much air is changed. Okay, so we can write like volume of air in terms of cmm by 60. Since this is per minute, we can convert it into your per second air. Okay, into Cp of air, if we define it, so its value is 0.02. Okay, into delta T. Okay, now if we multiply all these, so on solving this, we get room sensible heat is equal to 0.0 or 0.0204 times of cmm into delta T. Okay, I hope you understand. cmm is cubic meter per minute. Let me mention here. Okay, let me mention it somewhere. cmm is cubic meter per minute. Okay, so since it is per minute, we have divided it by 60 here to convert it into per second. Okay, so this will be in kilowatt. So this kilowatt of heat, room sensible heat, is changed. Okay, change in the room sensible heat. Okay, now if we talk about room latent heat, so I can I hope you all know that the room latent heat can be written in terms of like mass dot of mass flow rate of water or vapor, we can say, or basically water only. Okay, water droplets from Hi minus H3. Okay, so we can write it in like m dot times of delta HFG or simply HFG. Okay, now we can write mass in terms of density of moist air. This air, instead of air, let's write it moist air. Okay, and here Cp of also moist air. Okay, and this Cp is of moist air because air Cp is 1.005. Okay, in most air only that our Cp value is 1.02. Okay, now density of moist air into again volume. So volume we can write in form of cmm by 60. Okay, into HFG, into delta omega. Now since we are talking about mass of like how much mass in terms of mass, so we can write in, so mass is always density into volume. So mass is water vapor. Now since it is a mass of water here, and this term will give our mass flow rate of your air. So if we multiply it by change in your delta omega, so we will get mass of vapor into delta HFG. That was like it before only. Okay, so from here we can also write like this value is 1.2 into cmm by 60 into HFG value is 2500 into delta omega. So I get room latent heat is equal to 50 times of room latent heat is equal to 50 times of cmm times of delta omega. Okay, and this has unit of also has unit of kilowatt. I hope you understood till here. Okay, now there is one more point, that is number of airflow changes. If it is asked to about it is asked about number of air flow changes per hour. Okay, so what you have to do, you can write it as your cmm value in your meter cube per hour. Okay, divided by volume of room in meter cube. So this is tell you how many times the air inside your room is changed per hour. Okay, like if the value is 2, so your entire room air will be changed 2 times within an hour. Okay, I hope you understood this point. Okay, so this will be it for this lecture. Here we will close our psychrometry analysis. Now in next question session I will discuss question on this analysis only. Okay, so thank you.